Okay, so today our lesson is going to be about estimating to find sums and differences. So our learning target is I can estimate to find sums and differences. And estimating is when you're getting an answer that's close but not exactly. So you're getting a good guess. So it's sort of like a roundabout answer. And we're going to be using this both with sums and differences. And sums are when you put numbers together, and differences are when you find out how different they are. So we're going to be subtracting when we're finding differences and adding when we're finding sums. And you're going to know that you're successful with this when you've used one of your rounding strategies to round both of the numbers. And then you find the sum, which is adding, or the difference, which is subtracting. So we'll first start with numbers that go to the tens place. So if you have the problem 29 plus 35. Well, you notice we're going to find a sum here because this is a problem. This is an addition problem, so we're going to be finding a sum. So according to our success criteria, the first thing we need to do is we need to round both numbers. If it's a number that goes to the tens place, you're going to round to the largest place value. So in this case, you're rounding to the tens place because the largest place value is the tens place. So I'm going to underline the place value that I want to look at, and I circle my number. That tells me whether this number is going to be closer to 20 or 30. So the 9 tells me that 29 is very close to 30. So I like to draw a little arrow kind of across from the number, and that just tells me this number is close to 30. It's just about 30. 29 is very close to 30. It's only 1 away. So it's much closer to 30 than it would be 20. So 35, I'm going to, again, round it to the nearest 10 because the largest place value is in the tens place. And the 5 tells me this is going to be closer to 40. If I drew this on a number line, I know that 35 would be closer to 40 than it would be 30. So I'm going to again draw my arrow and say that 35 is close to 40. So I need to figure out whether or not I'm finding a sum or a difference, and I know I'm finding a sum. So I want to put my plus sign here, and then I'm going to add 30 and 40. And I know that 30 and 40 is 70. So my estimated sum for 29 plus 35 is 70. So if I were to find an actual answer to this problem, it should be somewhere around 70. If not, I've made a mistake. So let's look at a different problem. If the problem would have 3 digits in it and it would go all the way to the hundreds place. So if I had the problem 284 plus 329, and I want to figure out an estimated sum for this. Well, the largest place value is no longer in the tens. This is a 3-digit number, so I'm going to look over in the hundreds place. Now my two choices would be, is 284 closer to 200 or closer to 300? And I know this 8 also is my helper number. It tells me this is going to be closer to 300. So I'm going to draw my arrow. I'm going to say 284 is closer to 300. Then I want to look at my other addend here. 2 numbers that are being added together are called addends. So this number is in the hundreds place. So I need to figure out if 329 is closer to 300 or 400. And the 2 here also tells me 329, if I drew it on a number line, would be closer to 300 than it would be 400. So 329 is also close to 300. Now my success criteria says round both numbers, which I've done. And then I want to find the sum or difference. And again, here I'm finding a sum. So I know that 300 plus 300 is 600. So if I were to find an actual answer of this problem, it should be about 600. If I get an answer way bigger or way smaller than 600, I've made a mistake. So now we're going to do one more together, and this time we're going to find a difference. Okay, and in this problem, we're going to look at a number that goes to the thousands place. So if I have this number, 7,248 minus 2,654. So now I have numbers that go all the way to the thousands place. So if I look back at this problem, I know that the largest place value was in the tens, so I rounded to the tens. In this problem, the largest place value was in the hundreds. so I'm rounding to the hundreds. In this problem, my largest place value goes all the way to the thousands place. So I'm going to round to the thousands place in this problem. So my options would be here is 7,248 closer to 7,000 or 8,000. And this too helps me know that this is closer to 7,000. So again, I'm going to draw my little arrow and I'm going to say this is about 7,000. It's an estimated 7,000. And then I'm going to look down at my next number and I need to ask myself, is this closer to 2,000 or 3,000? And the 6 is going to help me know that this is going to be closer to 3,000. Now, if I look back up at my success criteria, you'll know you have done this when you have rounded both numbers. So we've done that. Then we need to find the sum or the difference. And in this problem, we're going to find the difference. It's really important to make sure you're paying attention to the operation, because in these problems we added, we found a sum. And in this one, we're going to subtract. You have to pay attention to what the problem's asking you to do. So in this problem, once we subtract, we get an estimated difference of 4,000. So again, to be successful at this, you want to use your rounding strategy, whatever that might be, to round both numbers. Then you're going to go back and look at what operation is being done. And remember, because later on we're going to be solving these actually. We're going to find actual answers to these. This is a good way to figure out if you're in the ballpark of the correct answer. So did we hit our learning target today? Yes, we now know how to estimate, to find sums and differences.